Well, we have another USB keychain rechargeable flashlight for us to look at here today. Now, this is from a company I have not tested out or reviewed before. This is the Mecarmy SGN3. Now, this has been around for a little while. This is like a die-cast, hard, heavy-duty USB rechargeable flashlight that you can throw on your keychain. It has a couple different options aside from just the white light, and I really want to look at it. And going into this video, and where I purchased the next level up that just recently came out, the N5, I'm really wanting to look at the concept for putting a flashlight on my keychain. What's better, a USB rechargeable type of flashlight or AAA powered flashlight? And as I go through these two videos that we're going to do about a week apart, I'm going to just kind of be processing that to do a final video as well in a couple weeks on keychain flashlights, battery powered versus USB rechargeable, and just kind of discuss the pros and cons of each. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and see what this little guy has to offer and if this might be the right one for you if you like rechargeable keychain flashlights. So let's hit a few dimensions here. You can see this is already getting some cool Mandalorian armor look to it, used and abused. Love that. You know, we like to use our stuff over here at the channel. I hope you do too. That's why we test this stuff out, so you guys know, hey, this is going to last me a while or not, and give you as best a data point on that as we can. Now, the N3, and that's how I'll refer to it just to help me out and help you out, is going to have an overall dimension here of 2.25, so 2¼ inches long. It's going to be about 0.35, 0.4 on the thickness, so slimmer than some of the other ones. And I'm going to give you some dimensional sizes here in just a moment against other flashlights. And then it's a die cast alloy is what they say. So I have no idea what that means aside from this die cast. It's strong and it's heavier than most other USB rechargeable flashlights that I've seen. This is going to come in at 1.34 ounces. Still ultra lightweight, but a little bit heavier than some other flashlights like the new, and we are reviewing right now, SGN5, which is a polymer. You know, it's definitely a little bit bigger, but this is still coming in at under an ounce, and same with the tip here. And the tip is a bodied aluminum, very similar in size, but these are both going to be fatter, thicker, both coming in at about ½ inch or even a little bit more, whereas this guy is coming in at under ½ inch there. So just want to give you a little bit of perspective with some other flashlights that are USB rechargeable that are out there on the market. All right, let's go ahead and hit our 3 levels here. Now, when you engage the button for the first time, boom, you're going to get kind of the middle light, which is interesting that they decided to go with 50 lumens for 3 hours as the initial light, which is pretty cool for that power of 50 lumens for 3 hours. That's a great amount there. Great battery life to a great lumen and a good throw. You know, this is going to give you a good throw for what you're getting. Then if you push it again, it will turn off. So we're going to cycle here. If you click it again, it's going to drop down to the low setting, which is 5 lumens for 13 hours. That's going to be the longest amount. And that's great. You know, I mean, you're going to be able to see inside like your mailbox. You're going to see inside, you know, your glove box. In, you know, you're turning over to go through maybe a drawer or something like that. Just really quick, easy stuff. Then finally, if we rotate through here and we go to our highest setting, we got 160 lumens for 1 hour. Now, the other 2 flashlights that you saw have much longer, not only battery lives, but also outputs. But this is a kind of a good middle of the road. It's giving me 3 different settings. It's not like 5 different settings. It's not giving me so many options basically that I, you know, kind of go crazy. It's giving me 3 good bases. We got a low, we got a medium, we got a high that I believe for the battery life to lumens is very good and what the average consumer is going to look for and desire in a keychain backup flashlight. Now, there are 2 other options on this flashlight that are pretty cool, particularly the red. So if you just hold down the button for about 3 or 4 seconds, boom, you're going to get a red light. So that will not ruin your night vision. So if you're out camping or something like that, and you can set it to where now if it's on the red, if I turn it back on and then turn it on and off, I can just use red, which is great. I don't like have the other light turn on and then that ruins the whole purpose. You can set it to where now we're in the red feature, and then if you hit it again, it will strobe as well. So if you need somebody, you know, to see you, signal you, different things like that. Very nice little feature to have. Most other USBs are not going to offer that, USB rechargeable flashlights like that. So this is a very cool feature. Now, if we cycle through again, we can get a UV flashlight. So that's kind of interesting. You know, it's a cool feature to have. No real issues with it. I will probably never use it. I don't know who would really need to. It's very close. You know, you really got to get up on something. You know, maybe some people, either hunters or maybe, you know, CSI people or something. I don't know. So there is that UV light that you can use if you need to write secret messages to people with black lights or something. I don't know. So anyway, there is that feature there. Something to note, that I actually thought that I had a broken flashlight, but I realized that it just meant the battery was low. There came a point where I would try and cycle through here and it would not turn on the UV light. It must take up more power than the red, because the flashlight was still fully functional, but this was like so dim and then eventually stopped working. So I thought that the bulb had like burned out, and then I realized about an hour later when I tried to use the flashlight again, the battery was dead and I had to recharge the flashlight. So just something to consider there. Don't freak out if this doesn't turn on. It just means the battery is starting to get really low. Now with the charging, this will not come with a micro USB cable. I think any flashlight that's doing that should come with it. Now I have tons laying around, but you know, something to consider there. This does have a quick charge. I have tested it, works great, 90 minutes. So when this is dead, boom, hour and a half and you're good to go, and it's gonna be up and charged. It does have this gasket here, rubber sealant, and you really gotta work at it to get it out. Hopefully I can get it for you guys on film. Good night, man. There we go. Jeez Louise. Had to use a multi-tool to dig it out because you can see there it's super deep. And so that means it's going to really help with the water resistance and with keeping dust and grit and grime out of that micro SD charging port. But you really got to work at it if you're going to seal it in there like this to dig it out. You may actually have to end up using a little tool or something to try and pry that guy out there. But overall, great, quick, fast recharging capability, and the little port is right there on the side. So the price on this guy is going to run you about $40, between 35, 40 bucks. We'll have links in the description below over to Amazon. That's always a great way to help support the channel. It helps me buy gear just like this flashlight. I went out, purchased this to test it out for you guys as well as for myself and my systems. And when you guys use those hyperlinks, it helps me to do that. You know, without those hyperlinks being used on a regular basis, this channel would go away because I just wouldn't have the time to the value of my time, you know, to process these for you. And if you're not even interested in the item of gear that we may be reviewing that day, or you decide, you know what, that's not going to fit in my systems, no problem. Anytime you go to Amazon and purchase anything, if you use those hyperlinks, we still get a small kickback. So regardless if you're buying dog food, a flashlight, a pocket knife, a backpack, a TV, whatever it may be, we're still going to get a kickback, and that helps us to continue to do what we do here. So I want to thank you guys so much for your continued use of those links. It's awesome that you guys support us in that free and simple way. Now, this is the more expensive end of USB rechargeable flashlights that fit on your keychain that are out there. There are a few that are even more expensive than this, but usually they're more around the $20 to $30 range. And the reason that this one's a little bit more expensive is not only are we getting those two different types of lights, the red and the UV, but we're also getting that die-cast body that is a little bit more time consuming, and it's going to be a little tougher, more durable for those of you who are maybe a little harder on your gear. So that's what you're paying for when you're going to drop that $40 price point if you're seeing value in this design and its features. Well, let's go ahead and bring this video to a close. Final thoughts on this guy. Obviously, it's the toughest one that I've ever used. I really like the features, particularly the red light that it offers. You know, it's super cool with that. And a very simple, you know, procedure, and just the 3 levels. There's not like 6, 7 different levels going on. It's slimmer than most of the more high-powered flashlights that are out there that are going to give you more than 100 lumens on the USB rechargeable end. All those things I like. Now, as I said, in about a week or less, we will be having the N5 video as well that you saw in this video just running up when we were talking about size. That has even more lumens. That's like 560 lumens. It's a little bit bigger, has an emergency alarm on it. We're going to discuss all that, talk about that. But I want to wrap up also, just as I'm processing this, the availability or the pros and cons of the AAA or AA powered keychain flashlight versus a USB rechargeable flashlight. The one drawback that I'm really seeing from these, and I've had about 4 different types. I've had the Nightcore tube, the tip, I've had this guy now, and running the N5 version. I love the high-powered availability of the lumens that they usually offer you in the designs. I love the slim down, sleek features, and I like that I don't have to burn through batteries. The downside is that at random, because more often than not, what will happen is at some point throughout the day, because this rides in my pocket, I'm going to turn it on in my pocket. And so it burns juice long or quicker than I would like. And then when I do need it, I'm maybe coming home, from a long day. It's, maybe 9 o'clock at night and I need to check my mail or do something. And I go to click it on and it's dead. And I hate that. That's really frustrating because it by accident was turned on throughout the day. And there have been more than one occasion that in the morning, I'll test it to make sure it's good before I go out the door and it's dead. And so then I have to take it off the keyring, plug it in, it's charging. And now what do? Do I go grab another flashlight or whatever? So that's the one drawback that I see with having this as the main item on your keyring for your illumination versus a AAA or AA that when it dies, you just run upstairs, boom, throw a new one in and you're good to go. And they're not going to usually turn on in your pocket because a lot of them are twist head. And if it does, you're able to just save on the battery life and then again, swap out batteries way quicker than walking out the door with no flashlight because you're having to charge it because you caught it at 7 a.m. as you're going out the door to work. So those are just things that I'm processing for you to decide as well. Are USB rechargeable lights better than AA or AAA powered, and just kind of discussing that. We'll have a full comprehensive video on that coming down the line, but I wanted to share my thoughts so far on that concept. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming over here today, checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Any questions you have, I'll answer in the comments below. And always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.